Welcome to the Raj Kotecha Show, #1 podcast in Dubai. In fact, we've got a camera, so I may as well wave at it. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to a new subset of podcast within our podcast channel, which is called ALGO, ALGO, which stands for A Lot Going On. And we're going to do these podcasts. They're going to be very short, very rapid fire, because my time is continuing to get under more and more pressure. Mm-hmm. People want to hang out. People want to talk. People want to grab coffee. Dubai is opening up. So that means there's a lot more people coming to the city that want to catch up. And it's impossible. We're officially at the stage right now where we were in London a few years ago, where I cannot see everybody. And so what I want to do right now to kind of draw certain lines in the sand and be respectful of other people's time and also try to manage my own better is to try and put out a podcast every so often, ideally weekly, but let's see how that plays out, which is called the ALGO podcast. And the ALGO, or the ALGO kind of series, which is only about as useful as the first time you hear it. It's not going to be evergreen like some of the interviews and conversations that we have. But because ALGO stands for A Lot Going On, we're going to cover what's going on. We're going to talk about what's happened this week. We're going to talk about some of the things we got involved in. Hopefully it gives listeners a better insight into some of the things that are going on in my life, which can be very broad and very diverse. And what I also like to do is, by sharing these things, I would love the listeners and the viewers watching on youtube.com/Raj Kotecha to express their interest if they're doing any of the things that we're doing. If you're looking at some of the things that we're looking at, if you're interested in some of the things that we're interested in, certainly that's going to allow you to leapfrog a little bit and get a little bit more time from me. Mm-hmm. It's going to help the team figure out where we put our effort. And we're going to go subject by subject. Joining me on the show is Alex. It was meant to be Vic.
Yeah.
But
he left.
He's a part-timer. He's a part-timer, according to Alex. So it was meant to be Vic, but then he had some... Well, actually, Vic was doing something which we're going to talk about in a little while, which is the gift boxes. But here we are. It's myself and Alex. And this morning when I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, I grabbed my phone, which even though everyone says you shouldn't touch your phone first thing in the morning, but whatever. I grabbed my phone and I just spat out everything that's kind of like the big themes of the week. And I said, this is the concept, it's ALGO. And so I've not seen them. I've actually forgotten them because most stuff that I think about first thing in the morning, I forget almost immediately, which is the reason why I wrote it down. So let's go through each one of the subjects and let's discuss them so that anybody listening can come and get involved. And if not, you can just kind of use it to be nosy in our lives and see what we're up to. Okay, First subject.
First up is Gary Vee in Dubai this week.
Big Gary Vee week.
Yes.
This week, Gary Vee was in Dubai speaking at the Emirates Literature Festival, but he was also speaking and doing a bunch of appearances for a bunch of folks. So we managed to catch two of them. We saw both, right? You and I. The first one was?
Coders HQ.
Coders HQ. Interesting. That was he did about 23 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
Shout out to DJ Bliss. We saw him on stage. He was the moderator. He asked the questions on behalf of Coders HQ. It was very packed, very successful. Definitely more demand than supply in terms of space. Sure. But they were quick and they managed to open up another room. They put a laptop next to Gary when he was talking, and then they zoomed it into another room which was nearby. So I hope that was good for some of those folks. A lot of people tagged me on social media because they saw me there. Bliss is my man. Shout out to him. Great dude. Arguably one of the best in terms of the balance of skill combined with just having good interpersonal skills and being a good dude and just generally being quite liked in the city. So it was very nice to catch up with him, and even though it was only a few seconds. Shout out to other people in the room as well. Kyle, Nana, Millie. Who else did we see in the room? There's a bunch of people in the room. Shout out to Prince Nazim.
Yes.
5 times world champion boxer, something. Came along with us as our friend, and we went along, and he was keen to check out Gary. So shout out to him for coming along. It was good. Tahir was in the building. So that was great. Shout out to him. As far as like the content that was concerned, he was talking a lot on this one about blockchain.
Blockchain, Web3.
Where you follow Gary's content and you follow the blockchain, where did you think, in terms of like level of advancement level, where do you think he sat?
What he was speaking about or himself?
In terms of how advanced he was talking when it came to Web3 and blockchain.
I don't think it was the most basic because Coders HQ, I think most people who were there knew the basics about Web3. So it was a bit more in depth than I thought it would be, but it was good overall. Yeah.
One thing that he dropped, a major jewel, most folks know it, but he said that at the moment NFTs are more about like fashion and hype and resale value than they are about utility.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels like over time, the basis, the reason for getting involved in NFT, purchasing an NFT, trading an NFT will be the utility, and the fashion will be like second fiddle. So it's like function versus fashion, fashion versus function. So that's a good takeaway. So of course, not everyone's going to get to attend these events. So I was there, and I want to just share that as the key takeaway. And anything in fact, let's just do that. When we build out this ALGO series, stuff that we pick up, insights or stuff from people we've got access to, let's try and grab 2-3 bullet points from each of these things, and then we'll share it with the listeners so that they can benefit from it. Then after that, we rushed over to the main event, the reason why he was over, Emirates Literature Festival. Shout out to the whole team at Emirates Literature Festival. What a great bunch, super professional, super well organized, probably the best event I've seen in terms of organization in the city. Everyone was super civil. The social distancing was on point. The staging was incredible. The organization, the handing out of the media passes, the kind of people that they managed to communicate with to come along were really cool. I know I definitely boosted up the sales of that event because sold out event, but there was at least a couple of dozen people that saw my post on Instagram a while ago. Shout out to you, Alex, because you were the one that told me he was coming. So Alex texted me and said, Gary's coming. I got the info, jumped on my Instagram, told people. Everyone knows about our association. I know a lot of people bought tickets. They came over and said hello. We also did a competition. I bought extra tickets. So shout out to Ahmed and shout out to Javier for winning. Both of them were part of the My Friends, Your Friends community, which was incredible. So, yeah. And then, obviously, said a quick hello to Gary at one of those events, the first event. The next day, we were invited to come down and see him. So shout out to Maha, shout out to D-Rock. Yo, D-Rock, big up yourself. This guy has been lifting some weights and just looks like a guy who ate the previous D-Rock as part of a paleo diet. So shout out to D-Rock. You were very much missed. Andy, Claude Silva, wish you guys were here. Wicked event. And they told me when we first sat down that the first day that they did in Dubai, the day that they did all of the speeches, that was one of the all-time busiest days of their lives. Yeah, of all the touring that they've ever done. Yeah. Packed minute to minute.
7 a.m. to 12, right?
7 a.m. till 12 p.m. So, and for Gary to turn around and say, yes, it was packed, that means that it was a really, really full day. And we were supposed to catch Gary the night before. He messaged and said, yo, bro, I'm super tired. And when Gary tells me that he's super tired, I'm not going to take that by half. I'm going to assume that he's super busy and he can't make it. But shout out to him. Thanks to him for making time. Thanks to Maha, D-Rock and the whole team. Wicked vibes to catch up with them. Everyone was just glowing. Everyone was just looking like positive energy. Yeah, it was nice. Which gave me that positive energy as well. I would have it anyway, but then it's like...
just being around those people is different.
Yeah, it's different. Oh, speaking of which, your first time meeting the gang.
Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Thoughts? Thoughts from seeing him you've seen him speak.
I've seen him speak before.
But we were pretty close proximity.
Yeah.
At the first event.
Yeah, first event. I mean, very interesting. The first event I saw him at was a much larger event, so a lot further back and everything.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seeing him like face to face at the hotel was very, very interesting. Just super nice guy. Exactly how you see him online.
Does it justify how little you earn as an intern?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I'd say yes.
All right. Join us for the perks. Okay. So good. So that's good. So I'm very, very glad about that. Alex has been working super hard. This week you did some long hours. For a part-timer, you basically almost worked full-time.
Almost?
Yeah. We had some 15, 16 hour days this week.
Yeah. But it was good.
And then that was super dope. When we sat down, we talked about the 4 pieces of content with him: plan, produce, publish, promote. He definitely was like, he definitely understood why we're going to be trying to scale that and become more of a strategy shop than a content production shop. So it was nice to see that he didn't kind of like throw any red flags at me. It was nice to get it's always nice to get love off people you admire. Do you know what I mean? There's a handful of people in the industry that I've spoken about many times that have been significantly supportive of me in my career, and he's definitely one of them. So to reconnect and to understand that the 10 to 12 minutes or 15 minutes that we get with him right now is the equivalent to the 4 to 5 hours that we used to get back in 09, 010 is just really, really important. So that was good. What else is on the agenda? We'll hop back to Gary if we need to.
Next was Lovesoul Comeback.
Oh God, big week.
Big.
So it's Friday today, Friday the 11th.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Saturday the 12th, and at 9 p.m. we are going to be going to Papa, which is an incredible venue here in the city of Dubai, very close to the downtown Business Bay area, just adjacent. It's called Al Habtoor City, and it is 9 bar concepts in one. If you'd asked me what kind of guest list I'd be happy with going into tomorrow's gig, what number do you think I'd have come up with? Being that my birthday party was 55 bookings and 80 people. No, not my birthday party. The small set that I did at the Edition a couple of weeks ago. So I was the first DJ, by the way, Flex, to throw my own party at the Edition. And 80 people came, so big up to all of you guys.
I'd say if 100 came, no, 120.
120 on the guest list, I'd have been happy. No, I think I said 140 to 160.
Yeah,
I'd be
140
happy.
to 160.
As of right now, we're north of 200, and we've still got the final 24 hours before the gig, where, you know, everyone's figuring out, getting their shit together, figuring out how coming to the gig has a relationship with Valentine's Day or not. Like, some people are straight up not coming because they've got the whole Valentine's thing planned.
Yeah.
Other people are like, it'd be a nice way to end Valentine's, whatever they're doing. So that's on the 12th. That's tomorrow. Vic is DJing. It's Vic's. Really, it's more Vic's comeback than Lovesoul's comeback. It's Lovesoul's comeback in the sense that we've not DJed. We've not DJed together, but people have seen me here and there.
Yeah, true.
But I'm excited for his comeback because I got so much good feedback from my birthday party where he DJed.
That's good.
So I know that there's a lot. What makes me feel great is there's a lot of people in the city that are looking forward to hearing him DJ. It makes me feel good for a couple of reasons. One, because he deserves that attention. Number two, it also means that I'm not going to feel under any pressure when I'm not DJing.
Yeah.
Because the downside of the Edition, which was a party that we did as a crew a couple of weeks ago, was that I basically got no time with anybody. So people came over like, hey, this person wanted to meet you, say hello, Some of those people I'd like to have said hello back to, but I couldn't. So it just is what it is. Too busy. A 5-hour DJ set. So that's going down tomorrow. Big shout out to the whole team at Papa that have given us loads of access to their venue to make promo videos. Massive shout out to all the people that have registered. There are some people that are coming down in groups of 11, 13. That means the world to me. You know, as somebody who can still bring out a couple hundred people, 20 odd years into doing DJing is a magnificent privilege. I'm excited about that. On next week's ALGO, we have to talk about however tomorrow goes down.
Yeah, we'll talk
but
about it.
I'm feeling very, very positive about it.
Yeah. No, it'll be good.
For those of you who are coming, I guess we'll have to try and get this out tomorrow. For those of you who are coming, we are going to have to, enjoy the drinks. There's a special Lovesoul cocktails menu. There is a bunch of offers. There's a free drink when you walk in, when you register. So come down, have an incredible time. I just can't wait for you to experience it. What else is on the agenda for this week on ALGO?
What do you think about the venue restrictions getting lifted?
They've not... The folks here in Dubai that control that haven't been super... They've not filled out the whole picture yet. Yeah. But what it seems to be is that the restrictions are going to be lifted. The questions in the industry at the moment are... Does that mean dancing? Does that mean approaching the bar? There's so many different strands and scenarios in terms of the broad thing of lifting restrictions, but I'm bullish about that. I really hope that everybody in the world is safe enough right now for us to start doing that. And if you've had COVID, I hope you beat it and come back stronger. And if you've not had it, I hope it continues that way. So yeah, that's what I got to say on the venue restrictions. Okay, next.
What about My Friends, Your Friends?
Damn. So, My Friends, Your Friends listeners, of which there are many. My Friends, Your Friends hits 5 years, first week of March. Technically, the 1st of March is when we do it. So, shout out to F10, shout out to Tim, Sabrina, and the whole crew over there. And we have of course, we have the option of doing a 5-year anniversary party for My Friends, Your Friends. Not even an anniversary party. We just do a My Friends, Your Friends to celebrate 5 years of getting there. So, yeah, guys, if you're listening, folks in that community, we are thinking about it. We haven't come to a conclusion yet. I think we need to get through this weekend's party.
Yeah, and then we'll figure it out.
We need to probably spend a little bit of time recording next week on the education business and then steer our shit back. But if we're going to do it, and if we don't do a My Friends, Your Friends 5th birthday in the first week of March, then expect it'll come in the second half of March, probably pre-Ramadan, where people are like, okay, what are the last few events that I want to get to before the texture of the city just kind of changes, goes from 6th gear back to like 4th gear, which is super normal in this part of the world. Next, what else is up?
Next.
We're getting through these rapid. I kind of saw this in my head this way.
Yeah. Okay.
Notion. Okay, great. So for those of you that run businesses or working in content creation, there is an app called Notion, and it is a project management procedure systems software where you write all your stuff in. One of Vic's big projects for the year is applying this Notion software to the creative content agency, the business that we run together. So what that allows you to do is come up with standard operating procedures. It allows you to come up with protocols. You can even put documents inside there, drafts. You can do teamwork, collaboration. It's kind of got elements of Google Documents in there. It's kind of got elements of Slack in there, but it's also like a relational database where different things that you work on within the app can talk to each other and update each other. So that's amazing. So my big ask on that is, if you are working with Notion in your business and it's something that you know, let us know. We've hired consultants. We have great paid consultants that are working with us on that. But if you've worked on it in your business and you've got any insights, I'd be super grateful if you could share them with us. Okay, next.
Next is rest ethic versus work ethic.
Rest ethic versus work ethic. I think Vic said he wanted to speak on this one as well.
You want to speak on it?
But what I wanted to say to people, for any new entrepreneurs, and we'll get into we'll probably, maybe let's cluster 2 or 3 of these together and we'll talk about them in more depth. But I just realized this week that if you're going to start on your entrepreneurship journey, you generally have a sense that you're going to be working very hard.
Yes, definitely.
Which is the expelling of energy. But you can't expel energy infinitely. And it runs out, and you typically find out how much energy you've got when it runs out. I would ask people that are coming into business right now, which means you're already a little bit tapped in the head because entrepreneurs are a little bit maverick. If you are thinking about coming into the entrepreneurship game and you are thinking about working hard, and that all falls under the broad umbrella of work ethic, at the same time, before you begin this journey or at the beginning of your journey, please also think about the rest ethic. Think about how much rest you're going to need to put that level of work out. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't work for 28 days straight without any rest. Of course, if you're capable of it,
then do it.
Live your life, do it. But if you find that your ratio is 1 day off for every 7 days work straight, or 1 lie-in for every early start, or one,
whatever it is,
one light thing for one heavy thing, please have a think about that. It doesn't matter if you don't get it right, and then you can obviously adjust. And it also depends on what stage you are in your life. Some people have been entrepreneurs, then taken time out and had a job and then come back to the game. There are some people that are in jobs and they've been conditioned in terms of their work ethic around a job, and they're not quite sure what happens on the other side within entrepreneurship. But it's something to think about. But we'll come back to Vic on that. So if you like what I've given you there as a synopsis, we'll probably do a dedicated episode on work ethic versus rest ethic. But rest ethic is something that we need to talk more about. Okay, next.
Vic making content and Vic's birthday. You want to keep that for him?
No, Vic's making more content.
Yeah.
He's put an avatar on his Instagram.
Really?
Which is huge. Yeah, which is huge.
It's good.
So that's a big leap forward for him. And what's the other thing about Vic that I wrote?
Vic's birthday.
Vic's birthday, early March. Let's all put him under massive pressure at Vic Majaria, VIKMORJARIA, to throw a party.
He has to.
He has to.
Right?
I can't think of the last birthday party that he did. I remember we did a, what's it called? A fancy dress type thing in London. But that must have been 15 years ago.
You'll have to DJ his party.
You know what's going to be interesting about me DJing his party? I'll get to DJ the whole night, right? And he'll get to come on and do the 1 hour smash set,
like he did at your, like you did at your party,
like I do at all parties.
Oh, fair enough.
so he'll come on and and that's good for him, because then I'll just step off whenever he says to step off, and he can just come and absolutely murder it. Maya's here after many months of losing weight, and now she's back and heavy and doing her thing. For those of you who are wondering, Maya is my cat. If you're listening on audio, a beautiful old Persian cat who's just gorgeous. But everyone says she's got resting bitch face, but I don't believe that to be the case at all. Okay, so Vic's making a comeback. Let's make sure that you're following him, Vic Majaria, on Instagram. DM him, put him under tons of pressure to throw a party, and post more content. It can only be a good thing. All right, next.
Yeah. Next
Plus,
is...
oh, by the way, on that point, Vic gets loads of insights that most people don't get. in terms of what I'm thinking about, as do
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So if, as a result of the next couple of weeks getting pretty busy, there's two really good hacks now that I'm thinking about it in terms of getting time with me, because the last few weeks I've cancelled a bunch of meetings and drinks. Number one is send me a 1-minute voice note on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Explain whatever you need to explain. I don't think there's anything that's so complicated that it can't be distilled into a 1-minute synopsis. And that's voice note back and forth on Instagram at Raj Kotecha. Secondly, pester the people around me. Pitch Alex Christoph, and pitch Vic Majaria. And they know exactly what we're working on because we speak 7 days a week. So if you can jump past that filter and they tell you, yeah, this is a priority for us, then not only will you get my attention, you'll get all of our attention.
Yes.
So that's good. Okay, next.
Next would be focus on the 4 Ps, and what is our focus for the rest of the year?
2022, we are being more selective than we've ever been when it comes to signing new clients.
Yes.
Our price points are higher than they've ever been. Our results are better than they've ever been. So those two things are in sync.
Yeah.
But the goal has always been for many, many years to focus more on strategy and teaching the 4 Ps of content, which is plan, produce, publish, and promote, working with brands to help them figure out in that quadrant, what is it that they need to be focusing on? Is it planning? Is it the quality of their production or what they're producing? Is it where they're publishing and how they're engaging audiences there? Or is it how they're promoting? So roughly speaking, and we won't reveal the prices just yet, but you're going to be able to have access to the 4 Ps of Content program, which is a program I've been designing for over a decade. I've been implementing it with 20, 30 clients in that same period of time. And you will get to learn how to plan, produce, publish, and promote content that works for B2B brands that are in the first 18 months of their business. So if you're starting your strategy, or you've struggled with a strategy and had a few false starts, or you're on your journey but you've plateaued, it's going to be incredible. You're going to be able to go to a website to be announced soon. You'll be able to do a bunch of like training programs using online learning materials. And then at the end of it, we will tailor what you've learned around the specific challenge that you have in your business, which we don't know when you take the program, but we learn as you go along. Okay, that's that. More to come on that. We're going to build that in public.
Next would be your IG numbers going up. What do you have to say?
I'm very happy. Thank you, everyone who's joined me recently and followed me on IG. If you are following me on IG, I still think that the bio that's in my link in bio, it's an actual biography of me in my bio, or in my link in bio. So if you can head over there and you're new to me, welcome to the Instagram channel. I'm very happy to have you here. We just passed the 4,300 mark, which is huge.
That's good.
Yeah, because that's a well-levered 4,300.
Yeah.
What I do with 4,300 followers is what most people are able to do with 43,000 followers. So shout out to all the new people that have joined. I've also downloaded a couple of apps, and I've started deleting people that I'm following. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's a lot of random, it might be a random Indian restaurant that I went to in San Francisco, and I was like, oh, I'm going to follow this place and come back. And then post-COVID, it doesn't exist anymore, or whatever the case may be. So I've deleted a lot of like dead accounts and people that are just openly not posting anymore, like haven't posted since 2018, 2019. And also there was just a lot of like junk food content in there as well, rapper beefs and weird stuff. So I just deleted all that. So that's all good. So yeah, people I'm following going down, more focused, number of followers going up, feeling a lot healthier. Instagram feels like a much better place as a result of that. Okay, what else we got?
What are some of the lessons you've learned?
From what?
Just
from
recently.
the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
I think that once a year, you've got to specifically go through the people you're following and have a cull. Now, whether you do that one a week or one a fortnight or one a day, or you do a binge massacre, which is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I'll sit, last week I sat down, and in one sitting, I would delete anywhere between 80 and 220 people.
It's good.
Very good.
Yeah, very.
So I'd recommend doing that. I'm sure that, there's a couple of benefits. One, superficially, when someone lands on your page, they see that you're following less people, which means that it signals that you're being more selective about the people that you're following on a relative basis versus the people that follow you. And also, it just also means that, here's what I noticed, which was really interesting about this whole process, right? when I was deleting people from Instagram, at first it was like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And that was including going through the lists of people that I'm following that are not following me back. And there was a handful of people that if you'd asked me to bet, is this person following you? I'd have been like, this person's absolutely following me.
Yeah.
Did you do that as well?
Yeah, I looked at my stats a little bit and same thing. Very surprised in some cases.
Offended?
Not offended. I feel like it could also be a mistake in terms of that. Like it happens to me sometimes. I think I'm following someone and I'm not. So to a close friend, like I'm not blaming them, and neither do I really care.
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah.
Fair. So what happened was, Maya's back. I had a culling momentum, which is that, at first I was like debating, should I delete this person? Should I not? Is this content valuable? Is it not? Do I need to keep tabs of what's happening with this brand, this person, this company, this whatever? But bro, once I started deleting people, it's almost like, when they say when you're running and then you hit a wall, and once you get past the wall, you're just able to run a full marathon. Yeah. It was like that with deleting people on Instagram. I started deleting people, and the first, couple of dozen was very considered.
Hard, right?
What are the pros? What are the cons? Go back and forth, and eventually.
Then you just unfollow.
After a while, it was like we went from like sniper unfollowing to AK-47 unfollowing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accounts in a streak where I'd unfollow it. So the lesson learned is I definitely recommend doing that, because left alone to its own devices, the people you follow is almost like having a garden which is unkept. Like it can still, at a distance with blurry eyes, it can still look like a decent garden, but you approach some of the flowers and you start noticing weeds and thorns and things that aren't meant to be there. And the average garden owner is not going to notice that. It's just all part of having a garden. But if you're really looking at that garden as something that's meant to offer you value and joy and happiness and even aesthetic value, you have to go through and you have to trim. Yeah. And you have to rip some weeds out. So that's my 2 cents on the mass unfollowing. I've gone from having more followers than people I follow. No, sorry, forgive me.
Opposite.
I've gone from having more people I follow than followers, and I'm at 4,300 followers. So imagine I probably had more people that I was following than that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
To the upper 3,000s. And I think, it does take a long time to unfollow people, but I think that when all is said and done, I think we'll probably be sub 3,000.
Sub 3,000?
Yeah.
That'd be a good place to be.
Good place to be. Okay, next. Any final subjects on this one?
That's it. Or we could talk about viewing your insights within Instagram.
Which you did recently.
Yes.
You opened up my insights and you noticed that most people were following me from 6 p.m. Dubai time, which is about 2 p.m. today, London time. So that was super useful.
Yeah.
What did you want me to say? Or were you just like fishing for a compliment to be like, Alex just found this in my Instagram?
That's it. I was just trying to add something.
Is there anything else that we've done this week? If it's confidential, we'll delete it out, but...
I'm trying to think.
No, that's it. No. Yeah. Wow. Imagine you said that and now you've got to delete that out. That's so bad.
But I had to delete this part anyway. We're just not speaking about anything.
No, it's fine. No, but you should keep that in. But you should just bleep yourself out. So that everyone's like, oh God. Other than that, on superficial stuff, I started eating Weetabix again this week. Absolutely fantastic. Took me back to my childhood. Never been happier.
You didn't even talk about your new e-commerce business.
That's crazy. It's not a real e-commerce business. No. We've actually been doing gifting. Okay, so Alex is going to grab one. This week as well, we debuted to some of our most incredible supporters and definitely to a lot of our big spending clients, the first ever creative content agency gift box. We are not going to reveal what's inside because if you're one of our clients, you kind of pick up themes of what happens when we come to your office. And so those themes are very much inside there. Shout out to everybody who helped us out with that. And shout out to everybody who got one of those gift boxes. Yeah. We will do a future gift box in the future because I enjoyed doing this so much that I can imagine myself every quarter.
It was nice.
Coming up with cool things to gift people. But wait, there was one more thing as well, which is the whole basis of a lot going on. I don't think people realize how much stuff's going on. And as somebody who doesn't get all of his stuff done on a weekly basis because of me, like you're somebody who can't get all of their stuff done every week as a result of me procrastinating or being involved in something.
Yeah.
How would you describe in reality, I'm what's going on in my life, because I post like, oh, met Gary Vee, oh, met this rapper, oh, was with Russell Peters, like it's obviously Instagram's a highlight reel, because it would be disrespectful to show the hard work and the boring stuff that we do. But I don't think people have a perspective. Maybe here's my question for you, and I've never asked you this question before. When you started your internship as a free intern in mid-September, 2 weeks later, by the way, he got a job offer as a junior producer, so big up. But your perception of what it was that I was doing based on our chats, and then where we are now, 5 months into working, what's the difference? Spot the difference.
I think
me and Vic, of course, not just me. Yeah.
No, I think at the start when I first joined, it was more like the very beginning. So I didn't know everything that was going on, and like I started my internship online, so I was working from home at first. So it's not like I think the first week I started at home, just sent me files and I was editing from home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't spending like every single day with you at first. So I wasn't really noticing what was going on and everything like that. And even if we had a plan, what you were doing besides the plan, just like by yourself, because you had stuff to do. So now that spending more time with you, I realized that like we have a schedule and everything, but any minute that schedule can change. You just never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Like who's going to pull up in the city?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, just anything. Somebody can hit you up and like you have to be there.
Yeah.
And drop everything and just go.
How was today?
Today was good.
Because I'm asking that. So what happened was Alex and I dropped off a dozen gift boxes around the city. The only parts that matter, which was basically Business Bay in Dubai. Literally. Shout out to Vic who went to like all other parts of Dubai, Srebrenica and Yugoslavia, and dropped off gift boxes all over there. But the I had this sense, right, today when we were out. We were in certain rooms today, handing out gift boxes. The room where we had to pay for expensive parking.
Yes.
Were you aware that those people are in my ecosystem?
Not necessarily.
Why?
I mean, I'm new as well. I don't know your clients from before and everything, but I don't know when. I guess like if
that was super clean and corporate. That was
exactly.
Expensive suit, expensive tie.
Yeah, exactly. I just like when I think of you, I don't see you corporate like type style, but I guess when you put it into content sense and what you were doing with him, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, he was so kind as well. Some of the things that you said.
Yeah, no, it was nice.
Yeah, so he's killing it on social media. So I can't shout him out because I can't use his name. That's the point.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Yeah, who's just murdering it online. Ironic that he's got a problem that people are trying to copy his TikTok account. Yeah. Like he's got 100 clones on TikTok, trying to scam people, telling them that they're him. So yeah, and ironically, of course, that's terrible, and I hope that that stops. I hope that TikTok figures out a way to stop that. But in a roundabout way, it's kind of a compliment, which is that he's so big and he's so hot out here on content and social media that people are using his brand to scam people. So it's a weird kind of ironic reverse endorsement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in a way, it's like, please stop, but at the same time, you're showing me that I'm doing something good.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I think that's about it. How many minutes are we in?
38.
Oh, it's a long one.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
We got through a lot, though. We got through a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot covered. Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff that came from more than the last week. But if we drop one of these every single week, I think people will start to get pace and start to follow. Almost like
This was a heavy week.
This is, I see ALGO being almost like a Hustler's soap opera. Do you know what I mean? Like a soap opera, you check out every single episode. Yeah. It starts to stack on top of itself. It has this like linear theme, and you start hearing people's names and relationships. And I think ALGO is going to be one of those. And you can, obviously, if there's anything that we're doing, as I mentioned, anything that we're doing that's of interest to you that you want to get involved in, maybe you're looking at Notion, maybe you're better at doing gift boxes than us. You're probably definitely better at doing gift boxes than us. Anything that you're doing, even if you started eating Weetabix this week, anything that you can relate to in this podcast, drop me a message, raj@creativecontentagency.com, @Raj Kotecha on Instagram. Spotify crew, you can now give a 5-star rating and review. So whilst you're on Spotify, especially if you've made it this far, because that means that you're loyal and you love us, hit the 5-star rating. Same on Apple Podcast. And and on Apple Podcast. You can also leave us a review. And then, of course, YouTube, massive. Hit us with the subscribe button, like, comment, hit the notification bell so you can get our new stuff out there early. And share it as much as you can. Thanks so much, guys. Alex, thanks for stepping in for Vic.
Of course, thank you.
Peace.